Hello, 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 everyone. This is Rochele Marie Lawson, the Queen of Feeling Fabulous, and welcome to the Blissful Living Show. I have a guest with me today, and she is one of the phenomenal authors in the book Unstoppable. And we're going to have a conversation today about what she wrote in the book a little bit, as well as some other interesting words of wisdom that she will share with all of us to help us as we travel down our path to bliss. But before we get started, I'd like to take this time, as always, to let you guys know this. Take a few moments out for yourself so that you can really listen and engage in this show and the information. And it's also good for you just to take a few moments out of the day for yourself, anyways. Find a nice place to sit that's comfortable with your favorite beverage, something to write with, and tell the family just to give you a few moments to allow you to just be with you for a few moments. And I guarantee if you ask them, they will. Give the kids something to do, they will. And if they're older and you give them a chore, they're definitely a stay away from you. So um, do that right now. And I'm going to go into thanking our sponsors. First, I want to thank the Blissful Living Show at the Blissful Living Show, the letter four. The number four, the letter U.com. And you need to go check them out. They have an abundance of information and just wisdom around balancing your wellness, wisdom, and wealth so that you can step into living your dream life. So check out Blissful Living, the number four, the letter U.com. The other sponsor I want to thank is All Day Cable Incorporated at alldaycableincorporated.com or alldaycableinc.com. They are a telecommunications installation company located in the heart of Silicon Valley, been in business for over 30 plus years. And their motto is they make the right connections the first time. So if you're in need of voice data, fiber optic, wireless cabling, audio, video speakers, whatever it is with the way we communicate and do business today, then you want to check out All Day Cable if you're in the Western region, because they're located, like I said, in the heart of Silicon Valley at alldaycableinc.com. So right now, I want to jump into the show and really I'm going to introduce her, but then I'm going to let her introduce herself to you all as well. And I have my friend and partner in crime with this project, so to speak, Dr. Pamela J. Pine. And so because she is such a beautiful soul with so much wisdom and uniqueness as to what she does, I'm going to let her tell you exactly what she does. So, Dr. Pamela, please share with the listeners. First of all, welcome to the show.
Thank you
And
very much.
second of all, please share with the listeners what it is that you do.
Yeah, I do a few things, and I've always tended to do a lot of things at the same time. It's the way I'm built, I guess. Right now, well, for the past over 40 years at this point, amazing, I can't believe it. I have been working internationally, and I have worked literally around the world on every continent from Latin America through Oceania. And my focus has been on some of the world's most difficult problems. And the populations that I have chosen to work with and serve are those from the poorer countries and individuals who are otherwise underserved. So I've worked on issues that include Hansen's disease, which is leprosy, tuberculosis, HIV/AIDS, maternal child health, vaccination, childhood vaccinations, reproductive health, family planning, tropical diseases, and the list goes on and on. It's been honestly, I mean, I say this with all truthfulness, it has been my privilege to work with the people that I have worked with, the cultures that I've worked with, the people, learning about their ideas and their customs and their cultures, working in their languages. It's been a treat. It hasn't always been easy, but it's always been a treat. For the past 20 years, in addition to the work that I've done in those areas, working for companies and consulting for various international organizations, including WHO and USAID and the United Nations and World Bank and all of these folks, I got very involved with the issue of preventing, treating, and mitigating child sexual abuse. And it came as a fluke in a sense, in that I was working over 20 years ago at the organization where I was employed, and I got some information about child sexual abuse across my screen, the computer screen, and I started reading. And as a public health person,
Right.
this 20 more than 20 years ago, I literally knew nothing about child sexual abuse. And given the number of people that it impacts, and the number and the impact that it has on people's lives, children, adolescents, and adults, I couldn't believe that I had gotten out of public health school and every other school without knowing anything about this. Nobody was bringing it up in classrooms. There was no class on it.
Right.
Really, it's astounding
Wow.
because
So listeners and viewers, you see, she has an abundance of experience in all kinds of modalities when it comes to our health and well-being, mental, physical health and well-being. And she has been um, doing this all around the world. So different exposures to different cultures and the way people process things, and the way they learn and integrate, better way of living, so to speak. She's experienced it all. So with regards to, I want to jump to the book. And with regards to your chapter, I don't want you to tell what's in the chapter, but I want you to share with regards to the title. The title of the book, you all, is called it's called Unstoppable, Being Fierce, Fearless, and Unfuckwithable in Business and Life. And in life and business. And with regards to that, the stories in the book really exude all kinds of challenges that we women and men face, right? Especially in today's society, is all kind of stuff is just being stirred up that we thought had been taken care of. With regards to your chapter, Pamela, you share something really intense and really personal. And I want to ask you, um, why did you decide to write that particular piece in this beautiful book about being unstoppable? Because your piece definitely exudes that.
yeah, that's a really good question, actually, Rochelle. I pulled from various parts of my life and people who I knew and situations that I've seen and or been a part of. And I wrote about that particular aspect of lives that I've been involved with because I know that we are impacted ourselves, our lives unfold as a result of who we come into the world being and what impacts us upon our birth and our growth. Our families, our parents, our siblings, our friends, and all of that ends up going into who we end up being. And for me, watching people's lives unfold, including my own, that idea is critical. And I think that we really need to examine those pieces of ourselves and other people's lives in order to understand who we are and who they are. It's not simple. We're really complex beings. And unless we come to invite all those aspects of our unfolding into our understanding, we're missing something. That's the short answer.
Oh my gosh. Well, I mean, that sums it up. So if you're listening and you're kind of like wondering, what are we talking about? We're talking about Dr. Pamela Pine's chapter in the book Unstoppable. And her chapter is a very, I don't want to say intense, but it is intense
Intense.
because her story that she shares is an intense story, but it's also filled with love and hope and the wherewithal to move forward no matter what the challenges are, no matter what people may tell you about you. You have the power to make a change in your life. And when you make that change in your life, you never know how many other lives that you are affecting. And so I love, it's deep, y'all. It's deep. And you need to go pick up the book, a copy of the book. And if you're a fella and you're watching this, you need to get a book, a copy of this book for every female in your life, because like I said, the stories are different, but the words of wisdom have been written in the context to create information, wisdom, guidance for our future female generations that are coming behind us. So, okay. All right. So, Dr. Pamela Pine, I want to ask you another question with regards to what you went through and what you shared in the book and some of the experiences that you've, been privileged to, or opportunities that you had around the world with helping people in all facets. Would you say that um, the journey or the emotions are felt? And that's not even. I want to say. I want to tie the emotional aspect with regards to how you and you're in the situation, how you handle it, and how what you've seen, how others around the world handle experiences somewhat similar or in somewhat in that context of the depth of what you went through.
Yeah. Well, I think, I've worked with survivors of child sexual abuse now for over 20 years. And I'm working with actually someone right now. We're preparing a presentation who is a survivor. He doesn't have the degrees, and he's not some up and coming person. He's not looking for that. But his awareness and his understanding and what he brings to other survivors and to people who are looking to understand and help survivors and work with them therapeutically is enormous. And I will tell you, Rochele, it took me quite a while to understand the depth of the impact of that on people's psyches, their psychology, and their behavior. And it's intense. It's intense. So I mean, I can look at the book, and I can look at at my work, and all of those all of the lessons that I've learned, the lessons that I've learned from both aspects, my personal and my professional life, on some level, they just kind of hook up. And there is this real understanding about the complexity of our beings and the need for us in terms of a society, in terms of our culture, in terms of our communities, in terms of our families, to really try to step back and understand as much as we possibly can in terms of what we're seeing in front of us is going to be critical to creating a better world. And I mean that very sincerely. I'm not being melodramatic.
Right, right.
We've got to take this in hand and understand ourselves in order to make the world a better place.
I am so in agreement with you. I think we need to come together and be a little bit more empathetic. And maybe because we're in the, we're healthcare professionals, so to speak, we have that empathetic bone, so to speak, or that empathetic energy. Because my situation is like you never, or my experience is you never know where people are coming from.
Right.
You never know
Right.
what journeys they had, what was on their path, on their
Right.
journey, right?
Right.
And it doesn't matter at that moment in time that you're with them. What
Right.
matters is that moment in time that you're with them.
Right.
Because you never know what you may say or the smallest little thing that you can do, or just giving somebody a warm, comforting look or smile. You don't know how that might have an impact to help them be fearless, right? You don't
Right.
know. And so to be judgmental about how someone presents to you, um, I think takes a lot of learning to be empathetic. And in our society, if we want to come together, like you're saying, in unity, we need to have more compassion but more empathy as well.
Empathy. And I'm going to add something, however, and something
Yes.
that was hard learned. And that is that empathy is wonderful. Compassion is fantastic. Opening your heart and being non-judgmental, absolutely. And strengthen up that core because what comes at you, you need to be willing and able to stand up to. The issue of boundaries, for example, with people, we need to be able to trust our guts. You know, what's going on in your stomach, not
Right,
only your head, but
right.
what's going on in your stomach. If you're feeling something, you're probably feeling it right. And you need to strengthen up yourself to deal with the world around you as well as the people who don't have your best interest at heart. And the best thing that you could do for yourself and for them is to be as strong a person as you possibly can. Now, this takes some time. It takes it takes decades, not generations, but it takes decades
Yeah.
to really build up your sense of self and be able to sit up for yourself and be compassionate with yourself. You know, it's not all about everybody else. It's
Mhm.
about us together. And in
Right.
order to us to be safely together and work well together, you need to be as strong as you can be. And that it's critical. It's critical. It took me a while, Rochele, I'll tell you. It really, really did. But if I can give anybody any advice, it's to trust your gut,
Yes.
learn from experience, and strengthen yourself in order to be the best that you can be, so that you can be there in an appropriate way for other people.
Oh, I love it. I love it. I mean, just beautiful words of wisdom with regards to what Dr. Pamela said. And I agree so much with regards to making sure that your gut is strengthened. And in Ayurveda, or just in holistic manner, the gut is your solar plexus chakra, and that's where your strength comes from. And I know when I was doing emergency room trauma nursing back in the day, I first of all just was very connected to my intuition. So my intuition was very connected to my solar plexus chakra, or my gut, right? And I knew that when I got that gut feeling about a patient, we needed to move. You know, this patient was going to crump, and we needed to move. And I learned, and I thought about it, and over the years, just thought back to when I was a kid. Every time I felt something in my gut, it was something that was I really needed to pay attention to. And every time I neglected to pay attention to it, because it's the gut will talk to your intuition and tell you everything, right? Every time I neglected to listen, oh boy, did I have trouble, 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 right?
Right.
And so now I'm older, wiser. I phenomenal. If it's something in my gut, I know. It's just a divine knowing. And then one of the ways the divine talks to you, with regards to letting you know stuff that can't be shared with you via words, but everything in your body is made for you to tap into your true essence with this, divine,
Absolutely.
right?
Yeah.
So um wow, Pamela, that was beautiful. Now, I think I want to ask you with regards to, we have someone watching and they're saying we're spot on with regards to what we're talking about, and particularly with regards to the book in your chapter. I want to take it and say, with regards to the emotional aspects that we women deal with, in regards to uh, exercising those unstoppable muscles within us. Some have them really exercised, and some don't have them exercised very much at all. But with regards to the emotional aspects, and again, because you've been all over the world, you've had contact with all women from all different societies and cultures. What do you say is the commonality motive or emotion that unstoppable women around the world seem to have?
Boy, that's an intense question.
You having some good talk, girl. You know I was gonna bring it.
No, it's important. It's an important question. Um, I think there is from the women I know, truly, who I think are really unstoppable women, there is a dedication to whatever focus they're dealing with. There's an absolute tenacity. They are dogs with bones. They don't let it go. If something is right and something needs to happen, they are relentless. They are skilled. They know they have built up their capability to know how to deal with whatever issue they are dealing with in a really skilled manner. Uh, and I'll stop there with those three. I'm sure there are probably 10, 20 characteristics that we could name, but I think it's the heart and dedication, it's the tenacity, and it's the willingness and ability to build up one's skills to address what the focus of one's passion and passion is an
Passion,
important word as well.
right?
I with all the stuff that I've done, and it's been a lot.
Mm-hmm.
people Someone years ago said to me, what do you see yourself doing in 5 years? And I broke out in hysterical laughter. I said, not a clue. And that's always been the case. What has driven me is not my career, is not, being a shining star. It's the passion. What grabbed me? What did I find important? What led me to do something about it? And then from there, I developed the skills in order to do what I think needed to be done. So it's always been, I think, how some people think about it. It might be the tail wagging the dog. I don't know. But for me, it's the dog has been the passion, not the chasing after the career. And it
Right.
has served me really, really well. I was able to support myself, not always the greatest way, particularly when I was younger, but it led me. That the passion and the focus led me, and I developed from there. And it's been great. I can't imagine living a life led by anything else, frankly, than passion. I think it would have felt empty. Chasing the ladder, going up that ladder, that was just not me. And I had no interest in it. So it's,
Wow.
yeah, no, it's,
Beautiful. I think absolutely beautiful at what you said with regards to all of the character traits, emotions, and I do believe passion is one that's definitely there, and I agree that it's not the destination. Even for me, in the stuff I did, it was never the destination to be this or that. It was always what I did, what I wanted to do because I wanted to do it, and the reason why I wanted to do it was because there was something within me that either it
right,
was my purpose to fulfill or something like
right,
that, right?
right,
And so I totally get and understand what you're saying, and I'm sure everybody listening to this can relate to that in some way. When you're passionate about something and you want to accomplish that or whatever, you do it. You
right,
find a way to do it.
right,
And those things that you're not passionate about, it's a whole different energy. You don't care if you do them or not. And I
right.
think when
And
you're
you're not going to do it as well either, right?
exactly, you may, yep, as they say, you may halfway do it right, but you're not going to do it like you would if you were completely passionate about it.
Right.
And so, you guys, you will have to just stop right. We're going to stop right there with Dr. Pamela J. Pine. You will have to pick up a copy of the book. Um, Unstoppable, being fierce, fearless, and unfuckable in life and business. And of course, you can listen to the audio because we're going to continue with another author in the book as we go into part two of this. But right now, I just want to say if you got nuggets of gold from this, you're going to get nuggets of gold as we continue on. But you can definitely get more of Dr. Pamela J. Pine's words of wisdom by picking up a copy of the book. Alrighty, and we will be back in just a few moments.
Thank you, Rochele.